Hello and happy gaming, everybody. My name is Darksage Walker, and as promised, I am here. I am here after work, after having something to eat, after just chilling for a little bit, because frankly, work was a little frustrating today, but let's not get into that. Oh, pardon me. No, because today we have ourselves yet another Mystery Box episode. And for those of you who haven't seen one of my Mystery Box episodes before, those of you who have are probably tired of me explaining every time, but allow me to quickly explain. I'm going to carry the Curious Relic Cube all the way up to floor 3-1. After I clear floor 3-1, I'm going to drop it. By then, it will have 5 relics. I want you guys to try to guess what items are going to pop out of the Curious Relic Cube. If you get at least 2 of them right, then I will allow you to pick and choose the next items I take with me for my run on Thursday. I say on Thursday because I already... Pardon me. Oh, hey, that didn't feel so good. But I say on Thursday because I already have tomorrow's run all planned out and more or less ready to go. So, that is how the Mystery Box game is played. That having been said, we have ourselves a decent series of Arcana to work with. I try to keep Mystery Box episodes purposefully a little generic. That way, yeah. I'm sorry, I think I'm dying. But I try to keep the Mystery Box episodes just a little on the generic side, just to make things easy. Okay, well, at least he's not in position 3, but I mean... Again, take notice, Atlas all the time, every time. Why? Because someone has decided that I need to be hated. Yeah, take those swords. That's what you deserve. Damn it. Alright, so basically what we have here is a good multi-hit area of effects kind of build going on. That's not necessarily to say that that's how it's going to stay, but that's where I'm starting, because it's just a good base to start with. Ah, you guys suck. Yeah, you couldn't hit the broadside of a barn. Except for later when you'll hit me and then I'll be like, okay, you can hit the broadside of a barn. Congratulations. Generally because I suck. Alright, I'm not a big fan of Heroic Leap, but hey, it's something. So hey, Iris, why do you have nothing really all that useful here? Now, I'm not being judgmental, I'm just saying that just about everything here is kind of iffy. And because I've got... Because both Shu and Atlas are in the same run, I'd kind of rather not take any more Earth Elemental Arcana. Not even that skippy about having a Wind Elemental one, honestly. But we are going to take the Ancient Fountain Pen. That's going to pay dividends. I'm not 100% sure on Cabby's Raw Chocolate or the Cushion Flip-Flops, but Cushion Flip-Flops have gotten me out of quite a few jams, so I may be back for those. For now, let's just move forward and see what else we can find. So for what it's worth, yes, I did just finish eating, so I guess you could say what's the coughing was more or less my body just kind of taking care of business. Pile driver! Alright. That is one thing I do like about Heroic Leap, is it is just a big old beefy pile driver. Yeah, swords! There we go. Haha! Hey, admittedly, Heroic Leap is kind of fun. At least it is when you're facing off against regular enemies. Against bosses, it's a little iffy. But you know what I could really use is upgrades to my current Arcana. Oh, apparently I just do the leap no matter what. Okay, well that's good to know, because I had always assumed that the Arcana was less useful against larger enemies and bosses, because you can't pick them up to do the pile driver. So, I don't know, it's a little something. I will try Tiny Crocodile Heart this time. Last time I picked it up, I was actually pleasantly surprised by how well things worked out, so if I can find a decent means by which to self-heal... Okay, we're seeing this X-shaped room a lot. Alright, I was waiting for them to do that so it would be easier to pick them off. And boss room. Alright, so now the question is, do I want anything else here? And I'm going to take cushion flip-flops. Though at this point, I could really use something a little bit more offensive in nature. God, okay, so I've done 2 runs today, and Counter Rogue has just been in so many fights. Like, the game really wants me to have to fight Counter Rogue. Alright, we done with you now? Can I not see your ugly mug anymore? Or, you know, lack thereof, honestly? Come on. Yes, finalize the pattern. Thank you. I do have a tendency to go right, but Alright, so maybe I was too quick to judge Heroic Leap. That does seem to be doing something nice. I'm hoping that it works out well for when the bosses are stunned. Beautifully done. Hey, a beautiful area of effect attacks. I am actually quite enjoying this run so far, but you know what what I would really dig? Some sort of offensive improvement. Because I've got plenty of defense, but now I'd really like some sort of offense. Yeah, what do you do about a Rain of Swords? Admittedly, I'm quite enjoying the Rain of Swords. Okay, I don't want to lose too much maximum health. That would completely negate the whole purpose of... the whole purpose of taking Tiny Crocodile Hearts. Excellent. Alright. So it occurs to me, and mostly because my roommate let me know, that I was starting to tell a D&D tale and completely forgot to finish it because I kept getting distracted on one of my previous episodes. So let me see if I can finish it now. Hopefully I don't get too badly distracted. It's always a possibility because I seem to be Mr. Easily Distracted Man. Alright, so I see Heavy Travel Jacket and Singing Bowl. I'm taking Singing Bowl first. And we'll see if I have the money for the Heavy Travel Jacket. If I don't, I'm not going to be too upset about it. Yeah, evade that. Ooh, we've got Cascading Blitz, we've got Tidal Blast, the Heroic Leap upgrade. So what does the upgrade to Heroic Leap do? Crash deals more damage and slows foes? Oh yeah, we've got to have that. And then I need to make the decision as to whether or not I want to take Bubble Slaps or Tidal Blast. I have a very difficult decision to make on no. Tidal Blast offers more not Tidal Blast. Cascading Blitz, Bubble Slaps, offers way more opportunities for critical hits, and since I do have a slightly more critical hit focused run, only slightly because and singing more, I think Cascading Blitz is the way to go, but let me come back at the end, because I'm still not 100% sure, even though I've more... Thanks, controller. Thank you. That was exactly what I wanted to do. That wasn't, you know, at all completely broken and not intended. Now, I should ask myself, is Zeal in spot number 3? Because if so, then we definitely want to take Cascading Blitz, also known as Bubble Slaps. I think I'm just going to go with it. I've kind of talked myself into it at this point. And we'll just hope that we didn't make a huge mistake. Alright, so, D&D tale. I keep getting really lost in my own sauce here. Alright, so, here is what happened during the adventures of Lucy and Neith. And there were other characters there too, but, you know, this is... I'm telling it from my own perspective, so from my own perspective, they're the two characters I'm kind of more interested in talking about. So hopefully no one gets too offended by that. There were other characters present, but like I said, this is from my perspective. So we had ourselves a nice big boss to take on this time around, and lo and behold, we were doing it on a ship and fighting a watery Leviathan monster. Actually, to be fair, it was more like a big old Kraken monster frozen over in permafrost. Why permafrost? Because that's what its shields were made of that enhanced its defensive ability. The fact of the matter is, its offensive ability was average. It was nothing to write home about, but its defenses gave it more than enough to... Controller, maybe don't do stupid things. Alright, so apparently the D-pad on this controller is a bit more sensitive than I gave it credit for. So, we learn about the quest, and we're not, like, forced out onto the boat, and we're like, we're going right now! Forget everything else, we have to do this immediately! No, it wasn't like that. So we had time to plan, prep, and prepare for the quest. So, Neith decides the best way to prepare is to study up on how to use one of the other elements that's big for fire elementalists and essentially red mages, think Magic the Gathering alike. And she decides she's going to learn how to cast some lightning spells, because if we're fighting something out in the water, then fire isn't necessarily going to be the best option. There you go. Just want to focus on beating you down. There we go. Perfect. Binary splashdown. Interesting. I'll take it with me in case it becomes more useful. Which, arguably, against Atlas and his goons, it might be more useful. Matter of fact... I'll probably end up switching Dragon Art back in when I find its upgrade, or if I find its upgrade. But right now, I want to make sure that I have something that's offering me some defensive posture, and Binary Splashdown does that quite effectively. Ha! Hey, could you go away now? Thank you. So, like I said, Neith prepares by learning some electric spells to make sure that she's more prepared and versatile for a battle that's taking place almost entirely on water, and also to really complete the Azula comparison. You know your Avatar: The Last Airbender, I assume, right? Right? Yes, give me that upgrade. I have the money, and I can afford the health loss. If I get to Anders and find that he's got... Okay, so he doesn't, so that's good, so I'm not going to be mad. But I was about to say, if I get to him and find that he's got the Token of Elegance, I'm just going to be mad that I sacrificed that much health. You hang on by a thread. Alright, having 2 Jump Arcana like this will get me nice and prepared for the next challenge run I'm planning on doing. You guys just go away now? Thank you. Christ, they're annoying. Oh, hello, Vessa. Alright, so before I buy either the Gloves of Midas or take Vessa with me, I want to see what is being put on offer by Iris. Alright, I keep getting off topic, so... Neith goes to learn Lightning. Now, Lucy already knows Lightning by virtue of her being a Lightning Elementalist. So she decides that now that she's had this big breakthrough and she's now essentially... What am I doing? What is going on here? Now that she's part dragon, or in this case entirely dragon, it's time to break through that barrier and actually learn some spells that are actually what one would expect from a storm mage, not just lightning. So now she's starting to learn wind, ice, and water spells as well. And 2 of those spells that she learned are precisely what created this really cool event in the game. So the first spell she learned was a kind of uncommon spell called Watery Double. And what it does is it creates a double of a creature that's being reflected in the surface of the water. That it doesn't necessarily have all of its special offenses and defenses, but it does. Hold on. But it does have the same HP, same hit bonuses, and the whole point of learning the spell was because of the last effect, which is that its whole purpose in life, I will upgrade Bubble Slaps, thank you, is that it's... Sorry, I'm still kind of feeling a little bit of condensation in the throat. It was an odd day at work and I was having a hard time breathing. I'm hoping that doesn't lead to something more serious, but anyway. The idea that I was really focused on is that if the watery double catches up with its intent, well, with the creature that it was cloned from, the whole idea is that it tries to grab that creature and just latch onto it and just deal continuous damage to it throughout the time you're fighting it. Or for like up to like 10 rounds or until it's killed. Something along those lines. Yeah, I gotta take Vesa. Because remember, I still have the mystery box, so I'm not necessarily in need of even more money. So that's watery double, and what I was thinking is, okay, we're going up against something big. So the whole idea behind learning it is to try to distract the big monster and give us some time to line up blows. So I was intending on using it to essentially act as like an uber distraction. Do I already have a cursed relic? Yes, I do. So yeah, so it's gonna reduce my speed, but you know what? Anchor of Burgundy, hun. As for just a little bit of a loss of speed, I get an increase to my base damage, which is going to really help with those critical hits. Loser. But I also figure the enemy that we're fighting is in the water. So how difficult is it going to be to actually catch its reflection if it's in the water and not, you know, on the water or above the water? So I figure I'm going to need to learn something else just to slow it down. And that is where the second spell comes in. I took the time to teach Lucy Wall of Water, which has a Curse Eater's Vest. What do you do? Increase armor and maximum health. Alright, I can dig it. Ooh, I see you there, Wanderer's Mechanism. I already have Ancient Fountain Pen boosting my signature, but hey, this could help too. The whole run is just focused on slamming people with my signature. Alright. I'm a little sluggish, but I'm hitting hard. Also, am I just blind, or am I not picking up any more money? Oh no, I'm picking up money, I'm just dumb. I love the idea of Tracer Barrage. I also love the idea of Frost Scimitar. I'm not sure if I want to take either one at this moment in time. Mostly because I know I'm coming up against Zeal, and I'm pretty sure that that Tracer Barrage isn't necessarily going to be what I want. On the other hand, I could probably stand to take Frozen Scimitar, or Frost Scimitar. A present from Wa. You shouldn't have. Curse Eater's Mask, Curse Eater's Watch, and Token of Doom. Oh my goodness! Welcome to the run of cursed items. I am your host, Templeton McFurdypants. Was that a birth name? You don't want to. So, Wall of Water essentially comes in 3 different flavors. One, a movable ball of water that just kind of follows you when you move. 2, a dome that you set up in a spot. And 3, the subject of today's story. That was awesome. The vertical plane form of the Wall of Water. some of you may have already seen where this is going. So, we go out on the boat. Cue Lonely Island, I'm on a boat. Why is every battle counter road? Like, every battle. Like, it just makes no sense. Why are you everywhere? Alright. Bouncing Surge. Sorry, Dragon Arc. The way I look at it, having Bouncing Surge will be a nice, easy way to control Sura's Null Flash agents. Hope your trip here wasn't terrible, bubba-dooba-dooba-doo. You always fight me because I've requested. I want to pummel your face in with rocks. And I'm glad you added that rocks part, because I could see that going in a very terrible direction. Beautifully done. Battled and executed with impunity. Hello, Bolt Claymore, but no. No, I shall not take Bolt Claymore. I have what I need. So, we get on the ship, we go out, and we find ourselves in a very cold Arctic part of the ocean. I see a blade. A blade that I desire. I also see the soccer cleats. Those may very well come in useful as well. Like, to the point where I should probably consider getting rid of something. I have something to get rid of, but I'm not dropping it yet. I gotta clear the floor first. So, and we come to find it's not just that we're out on a boat in the middle of the ocean. No, because we are also. No, sir. You do not get to do that to me, jerks. Because it's also very cold. We look around and we notice that there is ice like all over the place around us. So, okay, this is an Arctic part of the ocean. All right, hadn't quite expected that, but okay, does the idea that it's Arctic have any bearing? Well, yes, it turns out that it does. So, reasoning number one why it's Arctic is because we're out there to rescue a fellow ship for the people that hire us for this quest. They originally came out there with 2 boats, and one of those boats got captured by the big bad evil, in this case, squid. Oh, okay. We have both. Alright, so there we go. And I'll come back with the money for Bolt Rail later, because I'm not exactly hurting for relics. So, one of the boats we find has somehow mysteriously made its way into being embedded in one of these glacial walls. So we're going, okay, that's odd, but you know what? We can dig it. We must have to deal with that. So we got to get those people down. Oh, hello. Yes, I see things here that I want to do. Unfortunately, I may have to sacrifice Vesa. Don't necessarily want to, but unfortunately, that might just be how the cookie crumbles. But maybe not. Maybe some of the things in the mystery box will be, worth sacrificing. Because we do have ourselves a cursed item run, and I'd like to stick with what I have for the most part. Ow. Oh, you thought you had me, huh? Pro dodge. The other reason why there's ice, outside of just the setting, is when we find our target, which, as I said, is Captain Permafrost Squid. It turns out that that's why it's there, because its environment is that of an icy oceanic environment, and its body is covered in permafrost shielding, which means that beneath that armor, it's probably pretty squishy, as squids tend to be. But the armor itself is making the thing a goddamn tank. So now we have our challenge. We have to break through its armor in order to get to the soft, squishy bits. Alright, got me? I'm only mildly distracted, I swear. So we have to break through the armor and get to the soft, squishy bits in order to end the fight. Which means we're probably dealing with a multi-phase boss fight. Cool, cool. We're all more or less on the same page. And right now that page is like, 10 or 11. Beautifully executed. Alright, I will finish this story in a minute, but first, we have a mystery box to drop. Alright, so if you haven't had your guesses in for the mystery box, this is your chance to do it. I am about to drop this bad boy and see what we got. So, dropping mystery box in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Mystery box! Alright, what do we got? We've got... Oh, hello, Drea. You can only take one at a time. I don't know what this one is. Oh, Ring of Reserves. That's actually pointless. So we've got Ring of Reserves, Plaguing Sprite Drea, Special Snowflake, Surefire Rocket, and Kali's Flower Diadem. If you guessed any combination of those 5 things, congratulations. You get to pick the contents of the next run. Aren't you a lucky so-and-so? Alright, so we're going to be dropping the things that we want to keep. Picking up the things that we want, that we're willing to sacrifice. Sorry, Drea. Look at it this way, I've heard it's really cozy inside the belly of a mimic. Oh, I have one too many. Something has to be left behind. I probably should have just gotten rid of that. Oh well. I counted wrong. That is my fault. No, I think I'm good. All of these cursed items are working together to turn me into a very powerful being. So, that having been said, we move forward. So, the first round of combat, we start getting ourselves set up. My 2 characters are the only 2 magic characters there. Everyone else has to either rely on A, their weapons, or B, the very Monster Hunter style... Owie. How dare you. That's what you deserve. Or the very Monster Hunter style cannons and ballistas that are on the ship. So you can also see that I'm starting to look at this as kind of like a siege, like a Jen Moran fight, for those of you who have played Monster Hunter 3. But my 2 characters know magic, so they have plenty of utility and ranged options at our disposal. So the first thing that Neith does is cast oil in a ring around the ship, and then later on cast Wall of Fire to create a defensive perimeter around the ship. So now, whenever Big Bad Icy Squid wants to attack us, it now has to do so through a Wall of Fire and continually damage itself and start to melt that permafrost armor. So far, so good. We have ourselves a wonderful start. So, this is where... You bastard. You this is where Lucy's part of the story comes in. So, she, now being a competent practicing storm mage, decides to try out a couple of her new spells. Like I said, you can probably see where this is going. So she starts by casting Wall of Water, one, to make it a little bit more difficult for the monster to swim, but more importantly, she wants to be able to catch a glimpse of the monster in the reflection of the water. She does this by using the vertical plane version of the Wall of Water. That way she can actually get a decent glimpse of the Mega Squid that we're fighting in the reflection of the Wall of Water. And yes, this plan is exactly as complicated as it seems. Also, I think I forgot to go get the I forgot to go get the upgrade to Bolt Rail, but somehow I don't think I'm missing it. We already have ourselves a quite powerful run. Alright, if I can get critical placebos, I'll probably end up putting down, that. Let's see what happens. Trudging along. Renewing potion vial. Okay, so I don't really need that. So I'll take cushion flip-flops back, but I appreciate it. There are many other runs, perhaps the one I did earlier this morning, where I could have used that more effectively. But hey, you know what? No complaints here. So within the water, she can now see the actual creature itself, and make no mistake, he's a biggin'. And it turns out this is one of the, like, I suppose the term angel probably doesn't mean much to you guys, but it's basically one of the big monsters that we've been looking for since the start of the quest. It just happens to be out here in the middle of this, like, Arctic plain. Okay, cool. So now we have an idea of what this monster is like, we have an idea of its etymology, and that means that the plan that I'm working with goes over way better than I thought. Why is that? Well, that would be because, one, because this is one of the angel creatures that we're looking for, not literally an angel, it's just what it's called, for lack of a better term, essentially. The monster hunting guild that we're working for calls them that because of the, like, strange stones that are in their body that resemble magic stones created by angels, hence they're called angels. I know, how very complicated and creative, right? Stick with me. So Lucy can now see the reflection of the creature in her wall of water. She decides to cast Watery Double. And my thought at first was, okay, this will at least give us a few rounds to beat up on the creature without us being targeted, because it's going to want to try to beat up its own Watery Double. And I was right about that. What I didn't know is that because this is a completely solitary, one-of-a-kind creature, it does not care that it's seeing essentially another one of itself, and completely does not trust what it's seeing. So now thoroughly going, oh, fuck that thing, decides that it's going to focus literally all of its attention on that. So instead of it just being a distraction like I thought it was going to be, Big Mr. Squid comes up out of the water to try to hit it with its breath weapon. Oh yeah, it had a breath weapon. Did I mention that? Thing is, we didn't know it had a breath weapon until right when it tried to use it too. So it basically used, like, whatever you want to call it, diamond dust, cositis, you know, big streamlined water or ice spell. That's what it uses. And it hits its own watery double for a lot of damage, but doesn't kill it. So now I realize the power of what just happened. Not only have we distracted the monster successfully, but we've actually wheeled it out into its second attack phase early. So now instead of just being like, oh, we have an advantage, now it's, everyone, focus everything you've got on Mr. Big Cycloptic Tentacle Monster. I will upgrade this at the very end here. And the result of focusing everything on the main body of the creature is we no longer need to worry about breaking the permafrost shields off of its arms. We break the permafrost shield off of its main body, and then we're just free to beat up on it. So that is the story about how we took on something using a very interesting collection of spells and managed to down something that was probably supposed to take a good few rounds in like 3 or 4. And you might think that our DM was mad at us, but actually he was really cool about it. He was actually really interested in that usage of wall of water and watery double. Like, he was very much not expecting that to be a thing. But as it turns out, it was a creature with a solitary etymology, so it just did not want to see another one of its own kind, because there wasn't supposed to be another one of its own kind. So it decided to try to go ham on what it viewed as an eldritch abomination, and gave us all the time in the world to beat up on it. And it was glorious. I absolutely had a huge amount of fun with that fight. The DM was super cool about it. He didn't get super mad that we found a way around his big bad evil squid. No, he was just like, dude, that was a really cool use of Wall of Water and Watery Double. Like, I'm pretty sure that if we were playing 5e instead of our kind of like mega homebrew version, that would have been worth an inspiration right there. And you know, I mean, I say that's kind of hyperbolous because I don't know how others would have reacted to that strategy. But, you know, it worked out. I was happy it worked out. It created a really cool moment. It was tense. It was fun. I really enjoyed it. So, thank you guys very much for watching. Thank you for being patient with me while I kind of trotted through my D&D tale. There's one last detail before we go, and that is discussing the topic of this week's theme run poll. I showed you Vanellope von Schweetz from Sugar Rush, which is a fictional game inside of Wreck-It Ralph's. Now I'm going to reveal who she's going up against. The theme battle this week is all about sweets, and I could think of no one better to encompass the idea of sweets than Willy Wonka himself. So this theme run poll is Vanellope von Schweetz versus Willy Wonka. So I want you guys to really have fun with this. I'm going to have a lot of fun going over what I think is going to be the best fit for both characters. These are going to be some fun theme runs, I hope. I hope you guys enjoy. I appreciate you spending your time with me, and, you know, do the usual YouTube stuff. Subscribe to the channel, drop a like, leave a comment, hit me up on Discord, and don't forget to vote in that poll. I know it's a lot of stuff involved just to watch an idiot play Wizard of Legend, but hopefully you're having fun with it. I know I am. So, until next time, my name is Dark Sage Walker, and I will be seeing you